Have you ever pulled leftovers from the fridge, tossed them into the microwave, and thought, I'm eating smart and healthy? What if that quick, harmless habit could actually be doing the opposite, quietly harming your body without you even realizing it? Could something as simple as reheating your favorite meals increase your risk of cancer, digestive problems, or even brain damage? Today, we're uncovering the shocking truth behind reheating foods that cause cancer. 5 everyday dishes doctors and nutritionists warn can turn toxic when heated again. These foods may look perfectly safe, but scientific studies show they can form dangerous compounds linked to long-term health issues that many people overlook. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll not only learn which common foods you should never reheat, but also understand the real medical reasons why. Knowing this could change the way you cook, eat, and protect your health for years to come. Let's begin with the first one. Reheating spinach, a leafy green that seems healthy, but may surprise you with its hidden risks. However, a common kitchen habit, reheating spinach, can quietly turn this nutritious green into a potential health hazard, especially after it's been stored. The root of this problem lies in spinach's naturally high nitrate content. In its natural form, nitrate is actually beneficial. It supports healthy blood flow, helps lower blood pressure, and even boosts exercise performance. But according to research published in respected journals such as the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, this chemistry can change under certain conditions. When spinach is cooked, stored for too long, particularly at room temperature or even in the fridge, and then reheated, especially in a microwave or at high heat, a dangerous chemical reaction can occur. During this process, nitrates break down into nitrites, which can then transform into nitrosamines, compounds that scientists have long associated with cancer risks. Studies from the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute have shown that these nitrosamines are linked to gastrointestinal cancers, including stomach and colorectal cancer. So while spinach may seem like a harmless superfood, the way it's handled and reheated could make all the difference between a healthy meal and a hidden danger. Emerging research now shows that nitrosamines may also harm the brain, potentially worsening cognitive decline and contributing to neurodegenerative diseases over time. The transformation from nitrates to nitrosamines happens quietly. No change in color, no visible sign, making it an invisible but dangerous risk for anyone unaware of what's happening at the chemical level. This concern is especially important for older adults. As we age, our bodies become more vulnerable to environmental and dietary toxins. Our cells repair more slowly, and our ability to detoxify harmful compounds weakens. What once seemed harmless in our 20s or 30s can have a much stronger effect in our 50s, 60s, and beyond, particularly on delicate systems like the brain and nervous system. Long-term exposure to even small amounts of nitrosamines has been linked to inflammation, a key factor in cognitive decline and conditions such as Alzheimer's disease, according to studies published in neurology journals. Think about a familiar example. You prepare a big pot of spinach and vegetable soup on Sunday, planning to enjoy it through the week. On Tuesday, you reheat a portion of that spinach soup for a quick lunch. It tastes perfectly fine, yet hidden inside are nitrosamines that may have formed during storage and reheating. Over weeks, months, or even years of repeating this routine, these compounds can slowly accumulate in your body, silently increasing your long-term health risks. The solution isn't to eliminate spinach. It remains one of the most nutritious vegetables you can eat. The key lies in how you prepare it. Whenever possible, enjoy spinach fresh or lightly cooked. If you've already made a spinach-based dish, try eating the leftovers cold, like a refreshing spinach salad or chilled soup, to avoid reheating altogether. If reheating is truly necessary, use low heat on the stovetop instead of the microwave, and never reheat it more than once. Store spinach dishes in the refrigerator promptly and finish them within a day or two to minimize nitrate breakdown. Small changes like these can make a big difference. By handling spinach the right way, you're not just preserving nutrients, you're protecting your body and brain from hidden dangers. keeping this green powerhouse a true ally for your long-term health. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Now, let's move to the second food, reheated potatoes, a comfort staple that can quietly harm your health. Loved across cultures for their affordability and taste, potatoes appear in countless forms, mashed with butter, roasted with herbs, baked until crisp, or simmered in hearty stews. They're a familiar favorite on nearly every table. However, a little-known danger emerges when potatoes are cooked, cooled, stored, and then reheated, a common habit in many homes. This simple process can alter their natural composition, potentially posing health risks if not handled properly. When potatoes are first cooked, their starches soften and become easily digestible for the body. But as those cooked potatoes cool, especially when left at room temperature or kept too long in the fridge, the starches change through a process called retrogradation, turning into resistant starch. In moderation, this type of starch can be beneficial. It acts as a prebiotic that supports gut health and helps regulate blood sugar, as noted in studies from the Journal of Nutrition. But the real danger starts once these cooled potatoes are reheated, especially with high heat methods like microwaving or uneven warming. The main concern lies in their ability to harbor harmful bacteria such as Clostridium botulinum, the same bacterium responsible for botulism. This risk increases when potatoes are cooked, wrapped in foil, and left to cool slowly at room temperature before being stored. Such conditions create the perfect low-oxygen, starchy environment for C. botulinum to grow. What makes it even more dangerous is that these bacteria can produce neurotoxins that are completely invisible. No odor, no taste, no sign of spoilage, yet powerful enough to cause severe illness, including nausea, dizziness, and in rare cases, neurological complications. For older adults, this threat is especially worrisome. As we age, our immune system and digestive function naturally weaken, making it harder for the body to fight off bacterial toxins. Recent medical research also emphasizes the gut-brain connection, showing how gut health directly influences cognitive function, a vital reminder that even a simple meal choice can impact both body and mind. Chronic inflammation caused by harmful bacteria or toxins in the gut has been linked to a higher risk of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, according to studies published in Frontiers in Neuroscience. So, that simple act of reheating leftover mashed potatoes might seem harmless, yet over time, it can contribute to inflammation that affects both your body and your mind. Picture this. You bake a tray of potatoes for dinner, wrap the extras in foil, and place them in the fridge. A few days later, you reheat them in the microwave for a quick meal. While it feels convenient, this routine could expose you to small amounts of bacterial toxins that may build up in your system with repeated exposure. The danger increases if those potatoes were left to cool slowly before refrigeration, giving bacteria more time to multiply. To stay safe, follow a few simple steps. Whenever possible, cook only what you'll eat fresh. If you do store leftovers, cool them quickly and keep them in airtight containers, not foil, inside the refrigerator to prevent bacterial growth. When reheating, use the stovetop or oven to ensure even heating, and never reheat potatoes more than once. If leftovers have been in the fridge for several days or seem off in any way, it's best to throw them out. Potatoes can remain one of the healthiest comfort foods, as long as they're prepared and stored with care. By paying attention to how you store and reheat food, you can greatly reduce risks and preserve more of its benefits. For older adults focused on maintaining energy, memory, and vitality, even small adjustments in kitchen habits can make a meaningful difference in long-term health. Now, let's move to the third food, reheated eggs, which may release harmful compounds. Eggs are a staple in American kitchens, valued for their affordability, versatility, and rich nutrition. Whether scrambled for breakfast, hard-boiled for snacks, or baked into casseroles, eggs provide high-quality protein and choline, an essential nutrient that supports brain health and muscle strength. However, one common mistake, reheating cooked eggs, especially in the microwave or at high heat, can quietly turn this healthy food into a potential risk. When eggs are first cooked, their proteins go through a process called denaturation, unfolding and reshaping into a form that's easy for the body to digest. That's perfectly normal and beneficial. But reheating those same eggs again, especially with uneven or excessive heat, can trigger additional chemical reactions that reduce both their nutritional value and safety. Two main problems occur: the breakdown of sulfur compounds and the oxidation of cholesterol. Sulfur compounds naturally found in eggs begin to break down during reheating, creating that rubbery texture and unpleasant sulfur smell. But the real concern lies in the oxidation of cholesterol within the yolk. When eggs are reheated, especially at high temperatures, cholesterol can transform into compounds known as oxysterols, which have been linked to inflammation and a higher risk of heart disease. According to research published in the Journal of Lipid Research, chronic inflammation is a major contributor to cognitive decline, memory loss, and neurodegenerative conditions such as dementia. Studies from Nature Reviews Neurology also highlight that older adults are particularly vulnerable to these effects. As we age, our bodies process fats less efficiently, our arteries lose elasticity, and our brains become more sensitive to inflammation. That means even small habits, like reheating scrambled eggs for a quick breakfast, can have greater consequences over time. Picture this. You boil a batch of eggs on Sunday to enjoy during the week. By Wednesday, you microwave one for convenience. It looks harmless, but the reheated egg has tougher proteins and oxidized cholesterol, introducing inflammatory compounds into your system. Over time, this simple routine could quietly fuel inflammation that erodes both heart and brain health. To reduce these risks, it's best to enjoy eggs fresh or soon after cooking. If you prepare them in batches for convenience, try eating them cold, in salads, sandwiches, or as a quick snack, rather than reheating. If you must reheat, use gentle, even heat, such as a low-temperature stovetop, and avoid reheating the same batch multiple times. Always store cooked eggs in the refrigerator promptly and consume them within a few days to maintain both safety and quality. If an egg smells odd, looks discolored, or has been stored too long, it's safer to discard it. Eggs remain one of the most nutrient-dense foods when handled properly. By making small adjustments in how you store and serve them, you can continue to enjoy their full benefits while minimizing health risks. Even these small daily choices, how you store, reheat, or eat your eggs, can have a lasting impact on your energy, memory, and overall well-being. Sometimes, better health simply starts with rethinking your breakfast routine. Now, let's move on to the fourth food: reheated chicken, a household favorite known for its versatility, affordability, and image as a lean, healthy source of protein. Whether grilled, roasted, or baked, chicken is a favorite choice for fitness lovers, busy families, and anyone aiming to maintain a balanced diet. Many people cook it in large batches, store the leftovers in the fridge, and reheat portions throughout the week. It's convenient, time-saving, and seems like a smart habit, at least on the surface. But here's a surprising fact most people don't realize. Reheating chicken, especially in the microwave or at high oven temperatures, can subtly change its composition in ways that may trigger inflammation, digestive discomfort, and even long-term health issues. When chicken is first cooked, heat denatures its proteins, breaking them down into a form your stomach and intestines can easily digest. However, when that same chicken is reheated, particularly under uneven or high heat, those proteins undergo another transformation. They become tougher, more rigid, and less bioavailable, meaning your body has to work harder to digest them and absorb the nutrients. For younger people with strong digestion, this issue might go unnoticed. But as we age, our digestive enzymes and stomach acid naturally decline, making it harder to process foods that once felt easy on the stomach. The result? You may experience bloating, discomfort, or a sense of sluggishness after eating reheated chicken, without realizing the reheating process could be the real cause. Yet the effects go beyond digestion. And this is where it becomes more concerning. Research in nutritional science shows that reheating protein-rich foods like chicken can form compounds that promote low-grade inflammation throughout the body. These compounds, known as advanced glycation end products, or AGs, develop when proteins and fats are exposed to high heat multiple times. AGs are far from harmless. They contribute to chronic inflammation, a condition now recognized as a root cause of many serious health problems. Inflammation isn't limited to joint pain or swelling. It's a silent trigger behind heart disease, insulin resistance, and even neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's and dementia. Over time, regularly consuming foods that promote inflammation, even in small amounts, can slowly weaken the body's resilience, leaving you more vulnerable to age-related diseases. Picture this. It's Sunday evening, and you've just prepared a tray of roasted chicken breasts for the week ahead. You place the chicken in the fridge, and by Tuesday, you reheat a portion in the microwave for a quick lunch. The texture feels slightly rubbery. Maybe the flavor isn't as fresh, but you think it's still fine to eat. What most people don't realize is that these small changes in texture and taste reveal deeper chemical shifts taking place in the food. The proteins have gone through a second round of heat damage, creating something not only less appetizing, but also harder for your body to digest. Over time, this puts subtle but real stress on the digestive system, which can ripple outward, affecting both the immune and nervous systems. This concern becomes even more significant for older adults, especially those already managing inflammation-related conditions like arthritis, high blood pressure, or mental fatigue. Chronic low-grade inflammation acts like a slow-burning fire within the body, draining energy, clouding focus, and even affecting mood. For people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, these effects can quietly make daily life feel more exhausting than it should. Of course, skipping reheated chicken isn't a cure-all, but it is a simple, practical step that can reduce unnecessary stress on your body. Every small change counts. By being mindful of how you handle and reheat food, you allow your system to focus on what truly matters, repairing, restoring, and preserving vitality. So, what can you do to minimize these risks? It starts with how you reheat your leftovers. If you must reheat chicken, do it gently. Using a low-temperature oven or stovetop allows the proteins to stay intact far better than blasting them in the microwave. Even better, try adding leftover chicken to cold dishes, like salads or wraps, where reheating isn't needed at all. Another smart habit is cooking smaller batches, so you can enjoy chicken fresh without the need for storage or reheating. These small adjustments may seem minor, but over time, they make a real difference, especially as your body becomes more sensitive to dietary stress with age. The key lesson here is that food preparation matters just as much as food choice. Chicken itself is highly nutritious, but the way you handle it after cooking can significantly impact how it supports or stresses your health. By being mindful of simple habits like reheating, you're not just nourishing your body, you're caring for it. As we age, these mindful choices become powerful ways to protect long-term vitality and well-being. Now, let's move to the fifth food, mushrooms, a nutritional powerhouse loved for their earthy flavor, satisfying texture, and remarkable health benefits. Rich in antioxidants, fiber, B vitamins, and immune-supporting compounds like beta-glucans, mushrooms have earned their place as a staple in healthy diets. Mushrooms are a fantastic addition to almost any dish, from stir-fries and soups to omelets and sides. Whether you're sautéing cremini, grilling portobellos, or simmering shiitakes, mushrooms bring a rich, earthy flavor and impressive benefits for heart health, immunity, and even cancer prevention. Yet there's a lesser-known downside to this culinary favorite. Mushrooms are incredibly sensitive to reheating, and that sensitivity affects more than just their taste or texture. It can also influence how your body reacts to them, potentially disrupting your internal balance in subtle ways. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms contain a unique mix of complex proteins, enzymes, and delicate fats. When cooked fresh, these components break down in a controlled way, releasing flavor and making nutrients more available to the body. But when reheated, especially multiple times or with high heat methods like microwaving, their structure deteriorates further. The proteins and enzymes become less digestible, which can lead to bloating, digestive discomfort, or a sluggish feeling after eating. This is especially relevant for older adults, whose digestive efficiency naturally declines with age as enzyme production and gut motility slow down. What might have been a mild inconvenience in your 30s can become a noticeable source of discomfort in your 50s or 60s. The concerns with reheated mushrooms go beyond digestion. They're also tied to a deeper problem: oxidative stress. When mushrooms are stored improperly, such as left in plastic containers where moisture builds up or reheated unevenly, their proteins and fats can oxidize, forming compounds that contribute to cellular damage. Oxidative stress plays a major role in aging and chronic disease. It fuels inflammation and raises the risk of conditions like heart disease, cognitive decline, and neurodegenerative disorders. Research shows that oxidized compounds from food can intensify this stress, adding more strain to your body's antioxidant defenses. For older adults or anyone managing chronic conditions, this added stress may show up as fatigue, brain fog, or a weakened immune system. Imagine you've made a delicious mushroom risotto for dinner, rich with cremini and oyster mushrooms. It's comforting and nutrient-dense, so you save the leftovers for the next day. When you reheat it in the microwave, you notice the mushrooms have lost their tender, juicy texture. They've turned chewy, slightly slimy, or have a dull, muted flavor. Those changes aren't just a disappointment to the palate. They're signs that the mushroom's proteins and fats have undergone chemical reactions that can impact your health over time. The once beneficial nutrients in mushrooms can change into compounds that your body struggles to process, potentially adding to inflammation or oxidative stress with every reheated bite. The texture gives away the warning. Fresh mushrooms are plump, flavorful, and satisfying, while reheated ones often turn rubbery, watery, or overly soft, signaling that their natural structure has broken down. This loss doesn't just affect taste, it also reduces nutritional value and may increase digestive discomfort, particularly for older adults already dealing with bloating, gas, or irregular digestion. Over time, these subtle changes can add up, making it harder to identify why certain meals leave you feeling uneasy. To minimize these risks, treat mushrooms with extra care. Store cooked mushrooms in a sealed glass container in the refrigerator to prevent moisture buildup, which accelerates spoilage and oxidation. When reheating, use gentle methods, like a low-heat stovetop or oven, to help preserve their texture and nutrients. Even better, enjoy leftover mushrooms cold, tossed into a salad with olive oil, lemon, and fresh herbs. They can be just as delicious without the risks of reheating. And whenever possible, cook only what you plan to eat in one meal. Because in the end, it's these small, mindful dietary choices that can make a lasting difference in your long-term health and vitality. Avoiding reheated mushrooms might seem like a small adjustment, but over time, it's one less burden on your digestive and immune systems. These mindful choices can help you feel lighter, more energized, and better equipped to face the natural changes that come with aging. By paying attention to how you prepare and store delicate foods like mushrooms, you're making a quiet but powerful investment in your long-term vitality, one meal at a time. As we come to the end of this discussion, take a moment to reflect. What part surprised you the most? Perhaps it was learning about the hidden risks of reheating spinach, the bacterial dangers in potatoes, or how eggs and chicken can change in ways that subtly affect your health. Each of these insights reminds us that true wellness begins in our everyday habits, especially in the kitchen. Thank you for spending your time learning and caring for your health with me today. Wishing you continued wellness, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint, for more trusted insights to help you live your healthiest years.